Hi Sherry, it's very early. Where are we? 28th of February. Too early to be put my face on camera. I wanted to just talk to you about something. I think I've just realised something really important about, our whole process of overcoming trauma, which is that, well, I'll just tell you what happened. I was just looking through Facebook and somebody had sent me a petition, End Violence Against Women. And I was reading through and I came on this statistic that in some parts of the world, girls are more likely to be raped than to learn to read. And then something happened in me, which always happens when I read these, incredibly upsetting things like that. Which is that it's like a paralysis in my psyche, and it's like it's like I can't go on. I don't mean I can't go on. Like it's not even something I can put into words, but it's what it does is, you see, I've got all these ideas at the moment, things I want to do with the conscious weight loss, and I'm really excited about it. And now Steve's away, I've got this massive space where I can work on it, and it seems to put a stop to that in my mind. And I think what sometimes I have this reasoning behind it. I kind of trot out this conscious reason for it, which is, oh well, how can I possibly think about anything when people are suffering like that? Now, it's true that we need, obviously we need to get our own worries into proportion, but this isn't a case of that. This is a case of me really, living my potential and doing something to help people. And the other thing is that what I want to do when when I've got more money is be able to help causes like that. I don't feel that I could ever do something in person. Obviously, there's geography and stuff, but it's one of the things I'd like to do when I've got more money, is contribute to that. But learning things like that just seems to put this terrible brake on. It's like, how can you possibly, my conscious mind says, how can you possibly think about helping people with their weight loss when that's happening? How can you think about anything else? But I think what's actually happening is when I read something like that, it takes me back, and on a subconscious level, it's not re-traumatizing myself, but it's taking me back to my own trauma. And the whole process we're going through is about, I don't know, is it leaving the trauma behind? Is it integrating it and putting it in a part of your mind where it doesn't bother you? You're transforming this thing which has blighted your life, so it doesn't blight your life anymore. But so I don't know the point I think the point I'm trying to make is that I feel so knocked down when I hear things like that. They're so upsetting. I'm not saying ignore them, but what I am saying is that I think that our subconscious is creating these reactions as a way to, maybe my subconscious is saying, danger, that could happen to you. There's you're going to be attacked again. If they are, why wouldn't you be? Because the subconscious is all the time saying, you've got to protect yourself. And the process I'm going through is saying, hold on a minute, no, it's okay. I am safe, and I need to find these, she calls them imaginal, not imaginary, because that means they're not real. Carla calls them imaginal ways of dealing with the threat that my subconscious perceives as very, very real. And So that's what the Ring of Fire thing, which is working really well. So yeah, and I think the very fact that I've kind of worked this out means that fear is not so strong. I look at, do you know what, Sherry? I walk down the street, and I know this is a generalisation and I'm probably wrong, and I would never say this to anyone, but when I see somebody very fat, I see all their fat as this trauma that they're carrying around, and they don't even know it. And so at least mine's more visible to me. So yeah, to come back to this reaction, this horrific reaction, and it is horrific, let's face it, but I'm trying to find a better way to deal with it, where it's not being used to say danger, danger, because what I want to do is to say, okay, that is awful, what can I do about it? The best thing I can do about it, I think, is not to do anything like raising awareness, because I'm not able to do, that's too difficult for me. I'm still getting over my own trauma. I can't dive into other people's. But the best thing I think I can do is to work on this business idea, get past my blocks about earning money, and develop this idea of kind of empowered giving, which is, I mean, you've probably heard this thing of some people like to tithe 10% of their earnings for charity. It's something like that. So I'm not treating this horrible fact as a thing to re-traumatise myself, but I'm using it to spur me on to do my thing for the world. And then when I do that and I'm giving value and then people are giving me money, then I can give some of that to this cause. And that is how you deal with these really horrific things without putting your head in the sand, and without, having to re-traumatise yourself in some kind of sympathetic response. So, yeah, I think I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on that. And if you ever have this kind of similar reaction, so yeah, that's good. But yeah, just quickly before I go, now I've got your attention, what I want to do is do talks and write ebooks and get people to, I mean, the thing is, if I was in where you are, I would call myself a conscious weight loss coach. But we can't, in this country, we can't call ourselves things like that. It's too, I don't know, it's a cultural language thing. I'm very, very aware of language. And I'm just planning it at the moment. And what I'm actually doing is I'm planning a kind of a testing out online course of about 10 videos, people who've done my weight loss interviews, and I'm just trying those out. So I don't know if you're interested in doing that. And it's just to get people to question themselves and push themselves, and it's not about me telling people how to eat, but it's about me getting people to question how they're eating, what their relationship is with food, and then it's kind of connect to their own innate wisdom, which I think Weight Watchers and the diet industry has kind of convinced us that we don't actually have. Anyway, I better get the kids up, and it'd be great to talk to you sometime soon and hear your thoughts. Okay, bye.